What's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about fishing Lake Belton here in Texas. I did this video on preparing for that tournament a couple weeks ago. I'd never been there, so I'll tell you how I did. Welcome back. This channel is typically all about baits and gear and the latest trends, things like that. That's really what it's all about. So if you like that sort of content, please like and subscribe. We're gonna do something a little bit different today, and we're gonna talk about tournament fishing, specifically how I did in the media bass tournament a couple weeks ago. So before that event, I did a whole video on how I prepare for a new lake. Now this lake is a couple hours for me, but I had never fished it. I haven't been in Texas that long, a couple years, but I just had never been there. It wasn't on the schedule for me, so I had no reason to go there until this tournament popped up on the media bass individuals schedule. And I was doing pretty good in points at the time. I was in 6th place, I believe, so I was fishing this tournament to do well. Didn't quite go as planned. Now in practice, I'll show you a couple quick videos of what I found immediately. I just launched here at Belton. I think I'm gonna like this place. It's really clear. It's got smallmouth in it. Feels a lot like some of the West Coast lakes that I'm used to. So I'm pretty excited to fish a new lake and see how it is. Didn't take long. Look at this giant. I'm a pin jack. It's about a 7-incher. So I was throwing a wacky rig around this wood and threw the jig and caught one of these smallmouth. Look at that thing. Pitching wood, catching smallmouth. And as you can tell, I was catching some fish, but they were not very big. I was catching a lot of small fish. And that's something that I found out through my research, and I talked about in the previous video, was this lake is not known for big fish. And in fact, this tournament only took 10.8 pounds to win. So it was kind of off to begin with, but just not a huge big bass lake like you would think in Texas. So it was a tough tournament, partially due to the conditions. In the pre-fish, I was catching fish doing two different things. I was throwing a wacky rig up shallow around some brush, trees, just whatever's in the water, super shallow. So those were fish that were either done spawning or possibly still spawning or fry guarding. I really don't know because I was trying to stay back from them. But that's how I was catching tons of fish that one day of practice that I had. I was also catching some fish on a crankbait. And then my best producer was fishing deep with a free rig. Now I did another video on that. So at the end of this video, I'll put my video about the free rig and how I prepare for a new body of water. I'll put both those videos at the end. So fast forward to the tournament. So super windy, like I said, only took 10.8 pounds. So my bite of fishing out deep with a free rig was really difficult to do. Also very difficult to throw a wacky rig accurately around shallow cover and 30+ mile-an-hour winds. So didn't get to do either of those things effectively. What I ended up doing was just throwing a crankbait. It was windy. That was the best thing to do. Just go down the bank, throw crankbaits. I was catching them on this one primarily. This is the I'm a pin jack. So I didn't have the best finish. I only caught 4 keepers, but I caught approximately 30 fish. That's how many short fish I was catching. So it's definitely entertaining, catching fish, largemouth, smallmouth, both. It's a good lake. It's full of fish. Again, just not very big. So crankbait was big for me. I did catch one on a free rig, battling out there in the winds, but primarily it was just taking what the conditions gave me, going down the bank, throwing a crankbait, something moving. That's the best thing to do when it's windy. Now, another thing that I put in that initial video for preparing for this was kind of how I sought out different areas for a new lake. So it's just at the tail end of the spawn. I know that because it's springtime here. Those fish are going to be in those pockets, those shallow areas, those flats where they spawn. You could see that on the map. That's what I talked about in the video. What I was focusing on was those areas just outside of that. So those points leading into pockets, things like that. That's what I was keying on. Again, I only hit 4 fish for 5-something pounds, so not like a huge success story or anything, but that is a tried and true way to catch fish during the post-spawn. Wish I would have known the lake a little bit better. I would have had more areas to run to. But overall, happy with my finish. It's a cool lake. It has, like I said, smallmouth and largemouth. And it's a place where you can just go and catch fish, which is always fun to catch them, no matter how big they are. Catching 25 or 30 fish in a day is good no matter where you live. So I was happy with it. I dropped a little bit in points. I think I moved down to 7th or 8th. So kind of out of it for Angler of the Year with one tournament to go, but still happy being able to check out a new fishery. It's somewhere I'm looking forward to going back to. So thanks for watching. Just want to give you an update on how I did fishing Lake Belton.